You know what would make that better? A cup of white cane coffee.
Wow, that really is great coffee.
White cane coffee, because every cup makes a difference.
It's not just about music lessons. It's about hard work, perseverance, dedication, self-expression, making memories. Let's make memories together.
Good morning and welcome to the cafe for the first episode as White King Coffee presents Coffee and a Conversation for 2024. Brian Hagberg with you on your daily local. You can stop into the White King Coffee Cafe, get yourself a fresh cup. I got me some Dragon's Roast. Get it in one of these special laser engraved tumblers. Get it filled with your purchase. Get 50% off your refill as part of the White King Coffee Mug Club. And while you're here, you can pick up one of the delicious baked goods, maybe a breakfast burrito. Stop in around lunchtime. Stupid sandwiches available as well. And if you can't make it down to the cafe, that's not a problem. White King's also available on DoorDash. Place your order, have your favorites delivered right to your door. You can also order your favorite roasted brew at home online at whitekingcoffee.com. This is Coffee and a Conversation presented by White King Coffee. Our special guest today is Mandie Englert from the Heroes Program. And Mandie, first of all, thank you for taking some time joining us today, and happy 2024.
Happy 2024.
As we mentioned, the Heroes Program, and obviously anybody who's paid attention to your daily local at least knows a little bit about this program. But for those who haven't heard, tell us a little bit about Heroes and what it is that you do.
Well, Heroes started in 2018, so we have approached our 6th year of going strong. We started off as just a local support group for parents. We started off with only speaker meetings of topics of the parent and some of our community needed, and then eventually we started doing some support meetings and some local sensory-friendly events. Our first ever sensory event was a sensory-friendly Easter egg hunt. That wasn't so successful, but it was a big, huge learning experience, and we've learned how to adapt and change for future sensory events.
Well, and as a parent of a sensory child, I can really relate to there's a lot of trial and error when you try to put some of those events together, because each kid is so unique in what those triggers are that either they like or that they really don't like.
That's so true, because you have like one end where they need the loud noises and the bright lights, and then you have the other end where they need the quietness and the touch and the feel, and some kids just need to move. Like in my preschool classroom, like we've had kids that need to run, they need to crawl, they need to jump, because they need the sensory motion.
We actually had some issues with that with my daughter. When she was preschool age, she would just get these urges where all of a sudden her body would say, "You need to just run," and she didn't. There was one time when she was out playing in the snow, and I had gone in to get a shovel or something, and she just decided to take off, and I just see this. She had a pink winter coat. I just see this pink blur go by, right, and then she just stopped dead in the middle of the street. Thankfully we're on a side street that's not heavily trafficked most of the day, but when I went up to her, it was just, I don't know, I just had to run. And completely unaware of, I'm stopped in the middle of the road. Thankfully that's one of those things that she's kind of grown out of as she's gotten older, but yeah, it's one of those things that unless you're with one of those sensory craving kids all the time, you don't necessarily fully understand just how that works.
It's makes it definitely interesting.
So what are some of the things that you were able to kind of take away from that first event and use as lessons learned and applied as you've gone on and hosted some other events?
The biggest lesson was to be more verbal about the purpose of our events. Like, hey, our events are all inclusive for everybody to attend, but they are all geared towards kids with special abilities. So for me to be able to verbalize, sometimes it doesn't come off so nice, but it's hard because when people think autism, they think Rain Man. So then you have these kids that look typical. A lot of people just assume that they have all of the same abilities as a typical child. But then when it comes to an Easter egg hunt and all of these kids are out there and kids are having meltdowns or they freeze and all of the other kids are grabbing all of the Easter eggs and they don't get any. So that was one thing that we had to adapt to. And now, like our Easter egg hunt, we have 3 Easter egg hunts. The first 2 are registration only. And then the third one is like the most inclusive. But I make sure the parents are aware that it is for the kids with the special abilities to go. And to be kind and no pushing, hitting. Go through all the rules.
All those things that kids are wont to do, especially when it comes to, I got to go find something.
I want that egg. I want that prize. I want this.
So it's you're taking all of the elements of kids being kids, and then throwing on top of that the needs that this particular group of kids has on top of it, and trying to work through all of that at the same time.
Yes. It's
but so what prompted the start of Heroes? Why did you feel this was a group that needed to be here?
Back in 2017, Nolan, who is now 16, I was tucking him into bed and he looked at me and he's like, "Mom, will I ever be normal?" Oh my gosh, my heart shattered. I'm like, dude, like, what's normal? Like, I'm definitely not normal.
Well, I certainly hope
Lou
not.
isn't normal. Noah isn't normal. Our dog isn't normal. Like, what is normal? And he's like, oh, yeah, okay. I went to bed and I bawled. I have my master's in special ed. I have a concentration in autism, like, and I'm sitting there crying. Bawling myself to sleep because here I am feeling like I'm the only person in Warren County that is experiencing my child just wanting to be normal.
And very clearly you're not, right?
Clearly.
Yes, clearly. But so again, you said it started mostly as a parent support group. And what kind of response did you get initially, kind of out of the gate?
I received a big response, honestly. Like, a lot of people that I reached out to were like, hey, we need a support group. We've had support groups in the past, but they never survived because, like, people want, but then they're unable to attend. So a lot of groups, like, they
kind of
fizzle out because people aren't showing up. Whereas I've had meetings where there'd be like one family to show up, but that doesn't stop me because as soon as it just, okay, what can I do differently the next meeting? Who can I get to get more people? Can I do a Facebook Live? Can I do this? Like, it's.
Is there a preferred day? Is there a preferred time?
Exactly.
Of day? Working through all those kind of things. I mean, that's something similar to. Obviously, we have shows and broadcasts and things that we do, and it's you're always questioning. Well, would more people watch if we were at this time or on this day, or et cetera? I mean, it's just as with most things, it's one of those things you got to kind of work through and keep sticking things in until you find the right formula.
Exactly. And it's hard too because, like, people work. We have first shift people, we have second shift people, and then you have people who work first shift and once they go home, and I understand that they don't want to come back. And I'm not always available to do a Saturday meeting, which future maybe. But
Well, like you said, and with the technology that we have available today, like you mentioned, maybe doing a Facebook Live or even just recording a meeting so that the information is out
Right.
there.
Which I have done.
Yeah.
We had like the PT and OT from the elementary school come in, and I made sure I was able to record it.
Right.
During COVID, we definitely recorded.
Yeah.
If it's like a hot topic,
Right.
I try to make sure we record it or something so it is on the Heroes Facebook page.
Right. And so if people do want to get involved, what's the best way for them to get information about upcoming meetings, events, etc.?
We meet, other than November and December, they're a little different because the fourth Thursday is always Christmas or Thanksgiving.
Right.
But we meet at the Jefferson DeFreeze every fourth Thursday, usually August, September to May, June. And we're also on Facebook under Heroes-Warren PA, and we are on Instagram. And we have email and phone number. And
what time meetings on the fourth Thursday? What time?
6
o'clock.
Yeah. It's about 6 or 7 o'clock. Yeah, just hang out at the freeze.
Freeze all day, and you'll get there eventually. It'll be all right. You can see the preschool kids, see who else is hanging out in there. Maybe get your fingerprints done while you're waiting.
Yeah,
Whatever.
absolutely.
Just make a day of it.
I tried to pick a time that was after when parents got out of work.
Right. Yeah. And that's the other thing is there's so many, groups and organizations and government entities, and it's like anymore you really got to pick and choose. Okay, where can I'm going to do this day or this day, and
we also do kid activities.
Yes.
So our meetings are kid friendly, so you don't have to worry about finding a babysitter or some kids who need a TSS. Or we do have a person there that does activities with the kids.
Well, and I would think, especially at the Jefferson Family Center, that would be a great, an ideal location to have those kind of opportunities available.
Yes.
With the kid-friendly activities right there for you. And how welcoming have they been at the Free Center?
Oh my gosh, they supported. I sat down with Melinda, was one of the first people that I reached out to and asked her about it, and they've supported me since I was sitting there on the treadmill in the mornings watching YouTube videos on how to run a support meeting and how to do everything that I needed to do to get Heroes off of the ground.
Well, I know I've noticed the last few years they've tried to incorporate, obviously one of their big events is the Touch a Truck.
Yeah.
And they've tried to incorporate a sensory friendly time period in there to accommodate those kids. And just little things like that. I think people don't necessarily realize how beneficial that can be and how much of a relief that can be to parents.
Yeah.
Having a sensory craving child myself, I know we were constantly, okay, we'd like to do X. All right, but what's going to is this going to impact loud sounds, or there's something else that maybe is going to set her off? And it really does impact everything that you do, because you've always got to have a part of your mind going, well, if we do this, is it going to negatively affect my child?
Yeah. I remember like Nolan growing up going to his friends' birthday parties, and he's always had like the same group of friends, which I'm so thankful for. And he would go to their birthday parties, and their parents would call me and be like, you need to come get Nolan, because he's literally sitting in the corner crying. And I'd be like, oh, like he loves bowling though. Why?
Yeah.
But it's so much, because he could only bowl so many games, because the sound of the echo and the bowling balls hitting the pins and the people at the birthday party and other people. He would get so overstimulated that he would just start breaking down. And he wouldn't wear headphones because he didn't like how it felt. And it wasn't like earbuds weren't like a big huge thing. And
and McKenna's kind of the opposite. She can do the big headphones.
Mm-hmm.
She can't handle the earbuds. The earbuds are just
they feel weird.
Yeah, I have trouble with them sometimes.
I don't like them really in my ears either.
But I grew up with the old Walkman, right, with the little foam.
Oh yeah.
And the middle bar that you could kind of get over your head.
Yeah. So they weren't too uncomfortable.
Right. But I mean, I think this kind of demonstrates, right, like you were saying with Nolan, like it's he didn't want to wear the headphones at all, and McKenna's okay with headphones but not earbuds, and just how unique each child's needs are, because it's just little things that can make them uncomfortable, and it just triggers an entire response. Whereas maybe you and I are okay. This is uncomfortable. Oh, that would have been bad. You can't spill the coffee. But you and I would just be like, okay, this is uncomfortable. I'm just gonna take it off.
Yeah.
But that for them, it triggers an entire body response of get this off of me, and now
I'm uncomfortable.
Now I'm
this
completely
is too tight.
uncomfortable, and now I'm not comfortable in my own skin, and I've got to go to a completely different environment. And again, I think unless you're a parent or somebody who's working with these kids regularly, it's difficult to understand that how that whole process can be sometimes.
I remember it was like maybe 3-4 years ago. Nolan came home from school, and he's like, "Mom, I got yelled at on my way to school." I'm like, "From who?" Because we're in walking distance,
right,
and so he had to walk the baby. I was working up in Jamestown, and he doesn't necessarily always like the feel of long sleeves or pants. So he was walking to school with shorts and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
And some person to this day, I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad I don't know who it is. But yelled at him and told him to put a coat on. And it bothered him so much that it affected his whole day.
Yes. Yep.
So then I had to post, like, whoever you were,
Yeah.
I drove by, just understand he does have a winter coat. He has pants.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like now he will wear pants, but as soon as he gets home, his shorts go on. And the coat that he wears is a thin coat, and it's like very fleecy, soft inside.
Yeah. Yep.
And that's all.
No.
I don't
And again,
push anything else.
That's one of those things that again, you and I walking down the street and somebody's saying whatever. But it just that one comment impacted his entire day. And that's, McKenna's come home sometimes and she'll say, "Oh, I had the worst day ever." Well, what happened? Well, when we got off the bus at school this morning. Okay, what else happened? Well, that was it. But it was still, 8 hours later, that's the only thing that impacted her day.
That's another part of Heroes too, is by doing the all-inclusive events, I'm hoping to break like that Rain Man stigma that comes with it. And even like Nolan's a sophomore in high school, like we still have parents calling school and being like, "Hey, what's up with this? What's wrong with this?" And it's, as a parent, it's frustrating in a sense, because Nolan is that kid who has that huge heart. If you are nice to him, he will bend over backwards. He will buy you blankets, and he'll have me buy him blankets. But I'm not gonna not do that, because I don't want to ruin his heart. Because he knows what it's like to be hurt and go through like trauma stuff, and he's like me, where he doesn't want other people to feel the pain that he has ever felt. So if he finds out that you're in a bad place, he's going to do everything he can to try to make you feel better. But then that makes a lot of people question, like, what is his intention? Is he like some creepy kid? But it's really just
it's coming from a good place.
And I'm hoping with Heroes that we're trying to get rid of
some of that stigma.
Some of it's even to the extent of like ignorance, where they don't want to know anything about autism or sensory processing or ADHD. Like, okay, so you're in a all-inclusive classroom, but this kid over here can't sit still and they're up and moving, and then that's affecting my child who is sitting there able to listen. But it's really just having an understanding like that every kid does learn differently. Every kid needs different things to learn to be successful, because as soon as they start depending on the system, then that's a whole nother it's a big vicious circle, really.
All right. Well, with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll come back, and you got a big event coming up here in just a few weeks, and we'll touch on that when we come back with Coffee and a Conversation.
You know what would make that better? A cup of white cane coffee.
Wow, that really is great coffee.
White cane coffee, because every cup makes a difference.
It's not just about music lessons. It's about hard work, perseverance, dedication, self-expression, making memories. Let's make memories together.
I keep trying.
Welcome back into the cafe. It's White Cane Coffee presents Coffee and a Conversation. Great timing there, Mandie. Brian Englert on Your Daily Local. Our guest this week, Mandie Englert from Heroes. And you guys got a big event coming up down at the Warren YMCA here early March.
This is the first time we ever done anything. Merry Christmas, guys. And it is our first ever. They've had a summer carnival last year, and it was very successful. And talking with my board members, we wanted to do something in the winter to get people out, because like January and February, beginning of March is like a dry time where a lot of people they start to struggle with their mental health. So we decided to team up with the YMCA and do a winter carnival.
Sounds intriguing.
It is. I'm really excited. Right now, we're still looking for some vendors to come in, and we're asking the vendors to have an activity, which it could be something very simple, coloring pages, something. But I don't want it to be like I don't know, like a show type.
Right.
I don't not. You know what I mean? Like a fair, mental health fair or something. Like I don't want it to where you just go table to table to table to get information. You know what I mean? I want like the kids to be able to go be comfortable in a calm, supportive environment, because that's another thing Heroes is. And I'll talk about that in a second. And I want them to be able to, I want the businesses and vendors to be able to display who they are and promote their business. But I want the kids to be able to have an activity at each table, and hopefully some games. And we're actually even going to have a quiet room, because it'll be in a gym. So there is an echo. So if there is a kid that needs some time alone, or if they just want to come in and go right to the quiet room and do the sensory activities, it'll be all okay.
It's amazing how something as simple as a quiet space can benefit these kids so much. Again, we would create that with McKenna. She had in her classrooms, she's had her quiet space where she can, if she would start to feel overwhelmed with whatever was going on, she could get up and as long as it was quietly, and just get up and walk over and go into that space. And that would also indicate to her teacher that, okay, this is not the time to say, hey, I need you to do, X, Y, or Z, come up to the board, whatever. That she was in a position where she felt, I'm getting overwhelmed. I need to just, sit here and mess with the fidget or something and just calm myself. And we put one together in a corner of her bedroom at home so that she could have that. She got two sisters, and they're all within 4 years of each other, and that tends to lead to
Yeah.
But to where if she was getting upset with something or whatever, that she could go up there and we would know if she was in that space that she wanted to be left alone and just kind of decompress. And again, just the benefits that reaped as far as reducing conflict, reducing some of the meltdowns and things like that was immense. And I'm sure that's a staple at your events is to have that quiet space.
It absolutely is. There's like the sensory friendly trunk or treat. We always have like an area that, I mean, it's all outdoors,
right? Yeah.
So it's as quiet as it can be, but it's an area. But the whole trunk or treat is sensory friendly. Like it's not at night.
Right.
We ask that there's no scary costumes, no strobe lights, no loud noises. So it's a calm environment. But I feel like more importantly is the safe environment and the supportive environment. Like we just had a Christmas party at the YMCA. It was movie, and we had hot chocolate, we had popcorn, and in the climbing wall room, we had Santa Claus, and we had like we had Play-Doh coloring pages, rice, and different stuff that the sensory aspect.
Yeah.
And there was sometimes the kids can be, I don't want to say rambunctious, but
they can be. They're kids.
They're kids.
They can be. They're kids.
Right, which is absolutely perfectly fine. But I feel like the neurodiverse families are the ones who are like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Don't do that, honey. Don't do this. Right. Don't do that. Don't.
Yeah.
And I always tell them, like, no, like, you're safe with us. Yeah. Like, don't apologize. If they want to go in and throw rice because they like that sensation, then throw rice. It's easy cleanup. It's nothing.
Take a little shot back. And,
yep. They make brooms. You're not, and we're here to support you, so you're not so anxious going in.
Well, and that's and again, that's another aspect of it that as a parent, and you try to go places and do things, and especially as you're still learning your child, right? Because some kids will display those sensory cravings early, and some of them, it comes out over time, and
it changes as they get older.
And and as a parent, you're constantly learning, what will or won't trigger certain responses. And anytime you try to go somewhere, you're always kind of in the back of your mind going, I hope, right?
Praying for the best.
Yeah, and then something happens, and you feel that need to be apologetic. Because again, I think so many people view it as, well, that's just, you can't control your child or whatever. Or, back in my day, they would have just got a swift spanking and that'd have been the end of it, or something along, right. But it's those things, even if you were to try them, don't work, because that's not how these kids process.
No, it just makes it worse.
Yeah. And so again, it's just one of those, you're constantly on edge, and you're constantly alert, and as you said, very much feeling like you have to apologize even when you're at an event that's designed for them, because it's just so ingrained. Oh my gosh, but this is okay. And it takes a lot.
Safe.
Yeah. And it takes a lot to relax that impulse.
Yeah, even with Nolan being 16, I know he won't display different behaviors anymore, but I could see, like going through Walmart, like I could see the tension and the anxiety that he feels.
Right. Yeah, and it's like you said, it's always different. It's always evolving. And again, to have a group like Heroes where even if it's just once a month at a meeting or, at the Winter Carnival event, just knowing that, hey, this is a place where they can go and just
Be safe.
be them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's hugely beneficial and hope that as we help you kind of get the word out about who heroes are and what you're doing, that more people will take advantage and utilize these resources.
I hope so. Because after going for 6 years, like I'm running out of ideas on how to advertise. Like the Christmas party, it was on the radio.
Yeah.
But trying to get the people to is a whole different situation. I feel like a lot of people are like, why am I going to go? Because my kid's just going to go throw rice or throw Mundo everywhere. But it's okay.
Yeah.
If that's what they need, then.
And that's just it. If you're thinking about it, if you're looking at different events and, you have one of those kiddos that's going to go out and throw the rice or, kind of create chaos in certain situations, these are the events to take them to, because not only is it not going to be, frowned upon or people are going to feel like it's a disruption, it's encouraging. It gives them an opportunity to get those sensory cravings fulfilled.
And to socialize. Because a lot of the kids that attend the events, they're I don't want to say they're the same, but they're in the same situation. So even the kids, I feel like kids with special abilities recognize, if that makes sense. So they know. So it's even more calming for them to know that they are the same. They're normal in their environment.
Well, it's funny you say that, because when I took McKenna for kindergarten, Meet the Teacher, we came in and she immediately went to a table where another girl was sitting, and they sat next to each other, and they have been best friends since that day. Aww. And they both this girl is very much like McKenna, has certain sensory things, and I mean, but like you said, it was like they knew.
Yeah.
McKenna walked in the room and was right there, and it was like they knew, and they just immediately started. I mean, just.
And you're like, oh my gosh.
And I'm going, oh, okay, well, this is cool, and then it helped that her mom is somebody that I went to high school with, and so we were able to kind of further that friendship because we had a connection and knew each other, and but again, it's not every kid is able to do that away, and the more opportunities that they have to socialize, all it takes is one sometimes to find that one person that really understands what you're thinking and feeling. And can make a world of difference.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Heroes also took over the Lego social group, which is really cool. We have a small group that comes every single week, and just to watch them interact and to the moms and I, we encourage the interaction and encourage the appropriateness of rather than saying, hey, give me that, we encourage asking nicely, the manners, and which is the purpose of it.
Right.
But it's a lot of fun. It really is.
And so the Winter Carnival, March
1st, and it's a Friday from 3:30 to 7:30. I think we're going to be in the West Gym.
That's the one when you first come in, or they go around
the one around.
I always get confused.
Me too.
I'm directionally
It's the one where the Warren Wrestling Tournament is in. That's all. I think there's a vending machine and a water fountain, and then the climbing wall room, and I think we're going to use the exercise room for a quiet space.
So March 1st, head down to the Warren YMCA. And absolutely he can. We like when Tiger comes in and says hello. Our friend Tiger, and along with Melissa from
we're really not that crazy.
The Children's Advocacy Center, which stop on in, get some, pick up some of that special reserve, or portion of the proceeds goes right to the Children's Advocacy Center. True. So get some great coffee and help a great cause as well. Always like to throw out that little plug for them when we can. But
Absolutely.
yes, so March 1st, head down to the One YMCA 3:30
Yep.
and take part in this winter carnival, and hopefully people can come and have themselves a good time.
I hope so.
All right, well, that will wrap it up for this week's edition of Coffee and Conversation. I want to thank Mandie Englert from Heroes for stopping by with us this week. Hope you tune in every Saturday morning at 9:30 a.m. as White King Coffee presents Coffee and Conversation. For Mandie, this is Brian saying thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good morning, everyone.
You know what would make that better? A cup of White King coffee.
Wow, that really is great coffee.
White King coffee, because every cup makes a difference.
It's not just about music lessons. It's about hard work, perseverance, dedication, self-expression, making memories. Let's make memories together.